Right then. Hello, welcome to round number 2 of the Anti-Stall Racing League, Anti-Stall Racing TCR series. Time for Oulton Park, the international variant. It was fantastic racing last week at the Sebring, not last week, it was 2 weeks ago now, wasn't it? Sebring Club. But we're now here in England at Oulton Park for the international layout. Loads and loads of cars again here for round 2. I am also joined by Paulo once again.
Hello everyone.
Right, so it's going to be, of course, another 2 races tonight of 2 minutes each, 15 minutes each of 2 races. They're in qualifying now, just looking at the lovely cars as they drive around. So we're going to get into that now. We don't have the championship standing, sadly, because I have been, just got back from work, so I've been running about, so we don't have them. But they were on the story on Insta, but they're also on the Anti-Stall Racing website if you do want to see them. We've got lots and lots of cars, over 19, we're into the 20s, and they're in qualifying, so let's see how everybody is lining up. So far, it's not showing me how everybody is so far for some weird reason. Oh, I know why I can't see it, because I haven't done the SDK. Let's have a little look. It will pop up on your screens in a second. Oh, actually, it's already on your screen. It's not on mine. Now it's on mine. Now I can see where everybody is. So at the moment, we've got Anton at the top of the leaderboards, which wasn't here last week, but is here today, and they're all in one big pack of cars in a big train here at Oulton Park. Lots and lots of long straights, and the chicanes are deadly. That's what some of them have been complaining about. So it's could be quite an interesting night tonight with the chicanes having basically bricks on the inside of the chicane, so the drivers have to be a bit wary about taking a bit too much of the curb. A lovely, absolutely gorgeous view of the cars coming up through the hill. A little look. So Anton is teammates to Damien, which is at the moment P2, and you can see them now on your screen. Anton just behind at the moment. They are 1-2, quite close in the timings. 3/10 is the gap. Lemuel just behind in third. So yeah, this one, guys, should be some great racing. It was 2 weeks ago. It was absolutely fantastic racing. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you did as well, didn't you, Paulo? It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was. Sadly, we had, good for some people. They had a break, winter break, Christmas holiday break. But I was waiting for more racing, because it's a really exciting races that have been happening. A really exciting first round, seeing the battle for first place, and in general, all of the grid just being really balanced, having battles everywhere. I was really excited to see this second race, just to keep the things going. See how the championship is going on the second round of the TCR series.
Yeah, I think it should be absolutely great fun. But Brandon has gone P1 just ahead, so they're. Oh, I'm not sure if they are on purpose getting slipstream or not, but it looks like a bit of a slipstream train at the moment with the drivers, with the long straights here, and I think it could be quite handy for some of them to get some slipstream. A lot of them out on track. Nearly, I think, all of the cars actually are out on track. We've got 24, I believe, cars today, all out on track at the moment, getting some time. As you can see, they're all quite close to each other. I remember 2 weeks ago you said that you reckon the exact time difference you want is about a second behind the car in front to get a bit of slipstream, as well as them not affect you. So it looks like that's what the drivers are doing. From my point of view, it looks like a lot of them are trying to get gaps of about a second and stick behind a car and let them tow them along for the next 5 minutes in qualifying. It's going to be extremely close. Of course, reverse grid for race number 2. Oulton Park, quite I have to say, a tight circuit, almost quite a skinny one. So we won't have 3 wide, I don't think. We could get there, but we shouldn't really. So it's gonna be a bit close. Turn 1 could be, well, turn 2 I think is the danger zone, isn't it? Really at the starts.
Yes. Turn 1 at least can be good 3 wide, especially because you have a bit of the curbs on the left side of the turn 1, you can actually ride them and not just completely spin. They're not completely grassed. But other corners, yeah, the track is too narrow for 3 wide. Also, I noticed this time we are using the full layout of the track.
Yeah, last season we used the I can't remember what it's called now off the top of my head. Circuit. It's not this one's obviously the international, so I think it's the national, and that was that Brandon behind going off, or I think it was. He's now in the pits. I think it may have been Brandon. Marcelo is here as well. Where is he at the moment? P7. Well, 4 minutes to go on an out lap as Brandon comes back out the pit as well. Good to see all the drivers again. Lovely livery from Starman. That's a bit close there with a car behind Aiden, but I think they're both on laps. They both look absolutely astonishing. And they're
So
almost
the gap
racing.
from P1 to P2 is only 0.3 seconds.
Yeah, 3/10 the gap. Quite close.
Antoine Blancas is the new driver. He didn't race the last race, but he is still registered, so it's his first time racing here
Yep,
with us.
Anton, yep.
He could be a competitor, so we couldn't even have a top 3 fight this time.
Yeah, I think we will. Anton's a very quick driver, teammates to Damien, so I do expect him to be up there fighting, and it looks like he is at the moment in the top 3, of course. In qualifying, Stephen just goes P14 as well. Steve just ahead, which had a great run 2 weeks ago in P17 at the moment, and goes up to P16. So Steve not enjoying the circuit as much as he did Sebring Club. Very different circuit, of course.
Oh, that's true. But it's still a long straights on this track.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the key point in qualifying to get someone to slipstream, but it won't be exactly packed. Of course, we say it's a long straight. Do you reckon it's going to be almost like pack racing, where some of the packs split away from the others, or do you think it's going to be nose to tail, one long train?
I would say people will get separated by each other, since you have to be a bit brave on the chicanes on this one. You can either cut too much, but you're risking of jumping yourself or even hitting the tires, and you don't want to cut too much from the car in front of you because you can hit his back. So it's a bit hard to overtake on this one. Usually, as a pack racing, this track is not it. It's not like Sebring, but it is a track that you can follow the cars ahead of you, and if you can get some of the key overtaking spots, you can gain positions.
Yeah, I probably agree. There is, of course, a very few overtaking. You wouldn't overtake into the hairpin, but both chicanes. No, sorry, not the first chicane, definitely not the first one, but the second chicane there in the middle of the circuit, definitely, and the last corner, you could overtake. Turn 1, maybe turn 2. Turn 3 would be a dangerous one, wouldn't it? The quick left-hander. I'm not sure if anyone's near at the moment for me to go on board with them to show, but maybe is... No, entirely not. I think anyone is quite at that part of the circuit. But yeah, that'd be a dangerous one to try and go for a move up the inside of that corner before the hairpin. That would be a dangerous one as Steve goes up into P12.
I would say the hairpin is definitely possible to overtake. As long as you put your car ahead of the car that you're trying to overtake, you can gain an advantage.
You think so? Through here? Try and do a move through here?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
On this one, yeah, as long as, because you have a long straight to get the slipstream, and then the other car has to defend, So if they go to the inside, the other car that's on the back has to go from the outside. But being on the outside, you can just push the throttle with the front wheel drive and still gain some speed before this chicane. It's definitely possible.
The GRT team here doing a bit of slipstream, helping out there as we come to the end of qualifying. Nice to see them using some slipstream as they get their final laps in. I think another car was trying to get to the line but didn't get there in time, so we will have our grid for... As my lights just dimmed then, that scared me. For round number 2, race number 1. Brandon does take pole, and with that an extra point. Anton will take P2. Teammate of Anton, Damien, in P3. Limrel will be take P4. And then we get into the Italian names, which I'm going to allow you, Paulo, to go have a go with.
Let me just read it clearly because it's a bit hard. So, on the Italians, we say it's Stefano Guiducci. We got then it's Dario Raffetta, and then we have Marco Benatelli on P7, Marcelo Reales on P8, Jake Stead at P9, Marco Garanti on P10, Andrea Homi P11, Massimo Boni on P12, Steve Hillwood on P13, Paolo Miniti on P14, Robert Tunick, P15, Stephen Fry, P16, Aiden Young, P17, P18, Brad Hutchinson, George Gonzaga at P19, P20 got Jaden Blauben from Gibraltar, Ryan Roses, Ryan Rhodes, I mean, on P21, Peter Greenwood on P22, P23 Kevin Burke, and P24 Costa. Chat.
Here we
There's
go
a lot
then.
of drivers here.
Here we go. I think they're already about to go. The lights are on and they are away. So it's perfect timing for us to finish off. Let's see how they go into turn number 1. Everybody's has got away well, I'd have to say. And immediately it's side by side, but not for P1, for P2. Everybody, I think, is clean through. I hope they are anyway. It seems like they are as they all file through. They are all clean going into turn number 2 for the first time. And it's a good, clean start. That's lovely to see all 24 cars absolutely clean through. That's what you want.
Not a single 4X.
Oh, a single one. You can see the pack there just coming absolutely through. And it's an array of colours, which I absolutely adore. The fact that it is loads and loads of different colours. Everybody through. I think Steve has got someone on his outside or inside. Inside now as they go to the hairpin is my Irish loads up as my PC is still trying to load. That's side by side through the hairpin, but everyone clean. I think they may tap doors here. Is anybody going to give way as they go into the first chicane for the first time? They're still side by side. Steve gets it. Oh, he actually taps the car in front. But it's caused a chain reaction of hitting. But everybody, I think, has got through. Maybe one car didn't.
No, because of that chain reaction, people went too slow on the hairpin and the cars on the back actually hit each other. It's an accordion effect.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's how that's gone. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Bit of a gap there as the car goes wide. Who's got off there? I think may have been Stefano that went off, as Ryan has also had to go to the pits after a crash with him too. So that's unfortunate. A couple cars involved in the, as you said, accordion effect there. That is unfortunate for them. It has split the grid a little bit. As Marcelo has a look. Somebody in the background, I think it's Aiden Young, has gone well off the road. He has. But he gets back on now after having a moment. Brad is past a few cars. The car going slow. It's Roberts going slow here. So Roberts got an issue possibly. A few cars have passed him as they complete lap number 1. So it is Brandon, then it's Damien's. And Damien has passed Anton for second. Marcelo in the background has made a move, or is making one. He's trying to make one and he's past Dario. They touch doors as they go into turn number 2. They're side by side. They're still side by side. They're going to be side by side into turn 3 most likely. Probably through the hairpin as well. Good racing from the both of them. And I think Marcelo might have to give that one up, as he does give it up. And stays in P7 for now. If you do a bit of movement, I think Robert's fine. He's continued. He hasn't gone in the pits. He's just passed Kevin Burke. I'm not sure if he had a few issues there. But yeah, the accordion effect has affected at least 2 cars. Not sure what happened to Aiden Young, but he went sliding off the road near the end of the lap 1. So look at that view. As you can see, the top 4 just a little bit ahead of the rest. But the packs have split up a little bit. But that might be due to, as we saw at the first chicane, Steve... I think he got away with it, to be fair. Steve touched the car in front, but the car in front stayed ahead. So yeah, it just became, sadly for the other cars, some of them didn't check up in time. But it's...
Yes, as now you see just a big single file, some separated by each other. But now we will see who's going to be brave enough to do the overtakings. It has to be on the tightest corners, because on this car you can't be side by side on these fast corners. It's just too risky, especially on such a narrow track.
Yeah, so you think
Like
corners here's a perfect chance, do you think?
Yes. Anyone gonna try? We see someone in the back. It was just a defense. So yeah, it has to be on that corner. Turn 1 could be done if you have a good exit from the previous last corners. But we'll see. So far, not much of a change of positions.
We could actually have a look at that, see who has gained positions, who lost. I will try and find. There it is. That's the button for it. Let's see who's lost any. So Jake has lost 8 positions, so he's had a bad start. He may have got affected in the accordion, but most places gained seems to be Kevin Burke into P19. So yeah, not much movers around the top of the pack, you must say, but it will change throughout. May change throughout the race.
Of course, it's 15 minutes and we're only about 4 minutes in. A lot can happen on this track. Especially if, people do the chicanes wrong. That could be costly as well.
Yeah, that would be very, very costly these days. They are very tight chicanes. Marcelo to the outside, not going to do anything here. But yeah, People have been saying in practice, yeah, hit one of those on the inside, very easily done. And you have to do that for 15 minutes. Plus there's 2 chicanes as well, and either of the chicanes, if you hit either of them, that's car destroyed, suspension broken, and wheel probably hanging off. As Steve actually is now under attack from Paulo, I'd say here. Paulo's got a good run on him, and he will have the inside for the next corner. And he will go up into P12. They will be side by side through it, and it will be fine. They touch doors. Steve sideways. Steve still sideways on the grass. He's actually gone looping round. 360. Back on the road. Brakes. That one's going to collect him. Yep, George does collect him.
That's an unsafe return.
And George is spinning in the background. No one's missing him. Kevin Burke's not missing him. And George and Kevin have had a big crash, and they're both out. George's rear suspension's hanging off. And that is massively unfortunate for them, as Marcelo has actually just passed into P6. We're going to go have a rewatch of that one on for Steve. That's massively unfortunate. But let's have a little look how that all went down, shall we? So they're side by side here. Just is he going to be behind the trees? Let's hope he's not behind the trees. No, it's not. Just at the contact is just there, just behind the trees. And Steve's going to go right round, eventually right round. There he goes.
They really touch. It seems like they did. I think Steve could have just lost control by himself. But this is not a safe return. He just crosses a bit to the middle of the track like that.
I don't think he brakes quite early enough, does he? It's unfortunate. George nearly got away with it, but not quite. So the incident between for Aiden, which we saw him sliding off the road, is no further action needed, and there is a reprimand for car 31 of Steve. I think he's got a reprimand for that one as well. But yeah, let's split up the pack a little bit. It's unfortunate, but there was a good move in the end for Andrea. I think it was making pass, but it's unfortunate for Stephen and and unfortunate, massively unfortunate for George and Kevin, which obviously we said Kevin had made up 4 places in the race, but now sadly is, I'd say, out of this one. Of course, reverse grid, which is the top 8. So at the moment, Dario would be on pole for the next one. That is always a fight to look out for, as Paulo has just taken Stephen, and he's taking him now, actually. They're still happening into the last corner, like we expect most of the passes to be. But through he goes, up into P12. Fight probably not over you fully yet, I'd say. A bit of pressure on Stephen there. Definitely closer. I'd say it's closer in the mid-pack than at the top of the field right now.
But also P2 and P3 are pretty close together, if you notice. It's just a half a second.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Even though they have switched position, because Damien started P3 and then on P2. Now it's Damien on P3 and Damien P2. That's it, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, they've swapped. Yeah, you are right. They have swapped since the beginning of the race.
Yep.
As you've got Brad versus Robert here, as well as Jake instead just behind. No Alex Richardson from the No Limits sim racing team this week. But do have Jake still with us, and of course Robert from the Team Racing Nederland, which is, of course, we had a lot of them last season. The ones with Tony and off my head. Oh no, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. De Gaff as well, and that's wide actually from Robert, and that's going to allow Jake through. Talking about him, he heard me. He must have heard me. Jake will take the place. Maybe he's just ahead, and he's ahead. Jake goes up into P15. A slight mistake from Robert. Yeah, they're getting a bit closer at the top as well. Only 2 tenths now separates third and second. Does Robert have a little look here at Jake? He does have a look, but will he do it? No, he's not. I'd say Jake leaves in the room. No, he's not going to make that move. But yeah, they're getting closer here between the two of them. They are teammates, but I've just noticed their liveries are slightly different. The green on Anton's car is much... Is it more metallic, or is it just a lot darker? Let's have to
It's
say.
darker. Also, the accents, one has more white accents on different parts. Similar, but it's different, like on the sides.
Yeah, interesting that they've gone for different cars. Still both Hyundais. But not... By the way, there's a new advert in the UK anyway that says about how you pronounce Hyundai. It's not how I said it at all, turns out. I will try and pronounce it right in a minute, but can't can't remember how they said it on the advert, but yeah, on the advert, basically, they've made a whole advert about how they know people say the car wrong. So it's not Hyundai, it's Hyundai.
Hyundai?
It's
Hyundai.
It's like Hyundai instead.
Hyundai,
yeah, or something. They basically know everyone says their car make wrong, but they made an ad about it. It was actually really good. I quite like the ad because it's quite funny and quite smart and almost poking fun at themselves. But
yes, but it also catches your attention because of how direct it is.
You know that everyone does say it wrong. So we're gonna have to watch. Peter Greenwood's had a crash apparently, so let's go have a little look. He's not sure who he's racing with at this moment in time, but he's got to be inside. Maybe I don't think it is Brad. But he's passed the car there, an Audi. It might be Brad. Goes into the braking zone. He's going to lose it on the brakes on his own. That's unfortunate. No one hits him, and gets to go back going, which is good. At least no one's hit him, so he's all good. There's the fight over there. Brandon has got a 2-second gap now and the fast lap of the race. So Brandon is trying his hardest to run away with race number 1 of the day. As Robert has repassed Jake, by the way, for P15 in that battle, as they are possibly still side by side. They are side by side as they cross the line, so it's not over. Jake is on the inside of turn number 1, and it's gonna be Jake's. Robert's gonna try and hang it. He touch a little, but that is fair. He immediately gives them the room, knowing he can feel him there, and Robert is actually through. I think Jake gives him a flash of the lights, possibly a flash of the lights of an apology, and because he definitely had the run in there, so if he may have let him go of the flash there, and Jake just lets Robert go for now. But yeah, good race between the two of them there. Immediately, as soon as he could give him the room, he did. Yeah, through he goes once again, does Robert. Back as he was. Marcelo now on the back of Marco, which is just here as Marco defends into one of the chicanes. Some back markers up ahead. This is now for P number 5. Closest battle on the grid. Marcelo has been making his way up through the order. He's almost given Marco a rub there out of the corner. Of course, the higher you get in this race, the better the points, but also the worse the grid position is for the race number 2. He almost looks like he's having a look. He's nearly pushing him along here. Marcelo, who I'll have to say looks like the faster car at this moment in the race. Will he find his way through? And he follows him. He defends well, does Marco. Marcelo has to go to the outside. Probably not going to make the move there. Will it be into turn number 1 instead? Does he get a good run up the hill? He doesn't get the best run up the hill. He won't be able to make the move into turn number 1. There is, of course, back marker up just ahead. This may allow... You may try and use him, as apparently Robert's gone off the road, which has allowed Jake, by the way, back through in that P15 battle. So they swapped again. Marcelo now stuck behind Marco. That's allowed Stefano to try and catch up as well for P7. So we're about to have a three-way fight for P5. With 3 minutes left in the race. There's a good run here for Marcelo. Here we go. Earlier, you said they will make a pass into this turn. I said they probably won't, but Marcelo's going for it now. Up the inside, and it's a done deal. Marco didn't fight there once. Marcelo was there. Probably the smart thing to do. And Marcelo up to P5 with 2 good moves in this race as well.
True. It's already 3 positions up from where he started. So he's actually recovering. Usually we see him much higher in the race. Yes,
yeah, I agree. I'd agree with you there in that statement. Yeah, still the back marker just up ahead. And that's George from earlier. Look, as they'll deal with George in a second, will they? I think they'll be fine. I'm pretty certain I watched George allow a few cars through earlier, so they should be fine there. Robert versus Jake's about to happen again, but they've also caught up to the back of Brad, so it's about to turn into a 3-way fight for P14. The leaders 3 seconds to the good now is Brandon. I'm not sure how much the teammates are going to fight in P2 and P3. George just get happily out of the way. So Brad here versus Jake versus Robert. So a nice good little scrap for P14. Come through the closest. Everyone behind them has had a few issues, I'd say, in the race. We watched, I think a few of them have had spins and crashes. So yep, so they're sort of unfortunately further back. But here we go. Jake immediately having a little bit of a look on Brad. Interesting. To the outside. Does he sort of leave room for Robert? And he does. Robert up the inside of Jake. Might actually get the move done into turn 1. They're going to go on to the last lap as well now. So this is quite important. Last lap fight. And Robert doesn't get past him for now. Has to stay behind. We will have a look at the leader in a minute. I don't think I've even got on board with Brandon at any point in this race for race number 1. It's just close everywhere else but the lead, I'd have to say. Good to see this fight.
Time Brandon got completely right this time.
Oh.
As soon as he got away from the others, he was untouchable.
Yeah, he just absolutely, once he got the gap, he was gone. He slowly built it over the race. He's led every lap. He's got fastest lap, and he's got the pole as well. He doesn't look like he's when you say it like that, he's dominated, but at the same time, he hasn't absolutely dominated. It's only it's about to be a 4-second gap, so it's not the most I've ever seen him win by, but he has run away with it pretty well, and he's pretty comfortable.
No, this is still a pretty competitive grid, at least for the top ones. We have higher rated drivers here, but Brandon still shows his dominance on touring cars.
Absolutely. He does come on.
We will see how he does on race 2, because he then has to start on P8.
Yeah, it's a lot harder for him to win there. Brandon will take race 1 of round 2 here at Oulton Park. He wins in fine fashion. Damien will get P2 and Anton P3, so it's a good team result for them. Good finish in P4 for Limel. Marcelo will get P5 after a good race. Marco will stay P6, just ahead of Stefano. And Dario will start P1 in the second race as he gets P8 here. That's good. Good finish all out. Let's see how close it is now between Robert, Jake, and Brad. They're almost pushing each other as they come up the hill for the last time. It will be Brad, then Jake, then Robert. It was a close one. I can't wait to watch them again in race 2. But P14 goes to Brad, P15 to Jake, and P16 to Robert as well. So it's great racing between all of them. A few more cars. Steve, unfortunately, spinning after falling out of a good solid position. Costa as well will take P18. Peter spun as well. He'll take P19 as well in this one. A few others around. We had a few non-finishers. We lost. The lap down was George and Kevin, and we lost Aidan and Brian as well. That one. Good race from Brandon. He'll be happy with that. What you want is good points for him. Good race all around. Only really one incident, we have to say, which is unfortunate. Right, here we go then for the reverse grid. A little bit of warm-up first, of course. That's us to get our breath back. But that was pretty good. Interesting. Not lots of passes. A few passes, you have to say, mainly from like Marcelo and a few others. But what do you expect for the reverse grid? Carnage or... Because there is places to pass. Yeah, it's harder to overtake than Sebring, but there is opportunities, and it is a very tight circle, like we said earlier. So it could go either way here. It could be absolutely carnage, or it could be almost pedestrian-like and just follow the leader. But I don't expect that to happen, to be honest. After how we've seen before.
The top 8 are pretty strong drivers.
Yes,
that I'm sure. But there will be more aggressive drivers for sure on the top 8 that want to keep ahead of the others. But if we saw how we saw race 1, which was pretty safe, it's going to be better for everyone than if we have another accordion effect on the first chicane, for example. Because that will ruin the distance gaps of the other drivers if there's an accordion effect.
That was just the Heat 1 results, just for the shoulds if they need it. That's what they were. They might need. I don't think they need it for anything because I don't think there was lots of action to crash wise, so they should be fine if they all got sorted out in the race. But here is the top 8 quickly. We can't have time to go through the entire grid, but we do have time just to show you the top 8 as it is reversed. Dario will start on pole, Stefano P2, Marco, then Marcelo, which to end the, he made all those positions up, but if he didn't pass the 3 cars he would have been pole this one. So, double-edged sword almost here.
True.
Yeah, that's...
Overall, most of the drivers stayed on the positions that they started, except for one of the top 8 that was sadly taken out, which was it now? I forgot.
Steve, I'd say Steve.
Yeah, Steve, yeah.
Here we go again then, the lights are on. They don't have much time to think about it, and they're going to be away again. Who gets the best start? It's always interesting to see the wheel spin. Of course, the Audis get pretty good starts, but you have to say, there's a car dropping slowly back there in the midfield. They're almost full wide in the background. There's a touch between Marcelo and Marco, and Marco's in the wall. He's in the wall on the outside, facing the wrong way. Hopefully no one hits him in the very back of the grid. Of course, the stewards will look at that one. We'll probably have a look at it at some point. There's Robert up the inside of one of the cars as well there. Sneaking through. Does he get through is the question. Let's have a look. There's a car spinning and it's Jake. Everybody avoid on the exit. One car clips him, possibly Costa, and Kevin's around. Steve's off the road massively. There's a lot going on in the background there, the very, very back of the picture. I think that's massively unfortunate for Jake, and Jake's out of this one, and a few cars round us. Kevin back going. Kevin did get back going. Marco's got back going after his incident. Steve found the road eventually after his excursion in the background. Right, now for the chicane for the first time. This time I think it's all single file, but everybody's got through it a lot cleaner than they did last time. But the carnage was actually earlier than before, because it was at turn 2 instead. Well, it's turn 1 and turn 2. Marcelo's one will definitely be investigated. The car going up the inside of Robert there, and he's not able to go through, so he has to stay where he is for now. So that one will be discussed. I'm not sure if you caught the Marcelo one. There's a car off there as well. One of them's off. Body. Oh, no, probably not. You say his name is Joe. But he's off the road and back on in P11.
Massimo, yeah.
Massimo, yeah. He's back on the road at least. But I'm not sure who had the terrible start. But it was one of his team members. It was possibly in. I don't think it was one of the. I think it was one of the Hyundais of them. So it was probably Lemieux actually. So the highest finishing one of them. What the worst start is. They're 3 wide on the exit of the last turn. That's a few cars. Robert's in the middle of it. Going into turn 1, I think it's now 2 wide, luckily, so we've all calmed down a little bit, but it's turn 1 and a little bit door-to-door, and spinning a few. No, Robert's not, but one of them is. No one is. No one's spinning.
Fantastic.
That's mental.
Control in the front. It always helps. Can be sideways and still keep going.
That is mental. It looked like Robert was spinning, and I'm not sure which one. I think Massimo was the other one that nearly spun, but it was fantastic for them, both of them, just to floor it. And, you know, eventually, as you say, keep it, just floor it and turn, and it will come back to you. Fantastic for the both of them to catch it when it does. The gap at the front, not very much, so it is quite close. So who has made the movement? Damien's up to P4, Anton's P5, Brandon's P6. So they've made slight inroads into the top, but lots of cars everywhere, and it's been an interesting start. A few contact moments, but I think it was unlucky Jake spinning at turn 2, and for most of the incidents, realistically, our own avoidance. But of course, got that turn 1 one to eventually will get looked at, as well as Robert has a little look. I'm not sure if he's defending or having a look there, but Robert moving around in front in P9 as Deep almost does the car in front of Robert go, Marco, as they all go through this time by.
The gap to the top 6 isn't even that big, so they can still keep going, and we will see overtakes pretty soon.
Yeah, I think there will. Yeah, it's going to be overtakes will definitely happen in this one. 3 minutes into this 15-minute race, and I'm sure we got a lot as the trains are starting to form. Yeah, a little bit of a gap from the top 6 are a little bit away, but not too far, not out of reach as Peter gets past. I think P16 by George as well, and a few movements there. I think Lemel just gets past Brad just there, as you see in the background through the last turn. There's a bit of a slide there as well in the background. I think that was Peter Greenwood, so Aiden goes up into P17. A little bit of a fight here for P15. And up the inside he goes. Does he gets out braked maybe? He does get out braked. Lots of racing here. As Marcelo drops a few positions. Oh, he's got off the road. He's just rejoined. He's definitely got off the road because he's going slowly. And that's from P4. Now, did he get a helping hand? I don't even have one of him going off the road, so that's interesting. I've got one of the leader going off the road, but that's not him at all. So I don't know what's happened to Marcelo. I've got a pass on him. Let's have a little look. What happens to Marcelo just up ahead of us? As I'd like to press the play button. Does he? Oh, he touched the grass on his own. He slides off the road. Dropping position after position, that is. Oh, he's going to be kicking himself. That's massively unfortunate for Marcelo. There's carnage in the background there, and I think that's Robert again trying to get past. But has to stay where he is for now. Loads and loads of cars. So Marcelo has dropped down to P7, which has allowed Damien up to 3rd, Anton 4th, and Brandon 5th. So a car, realistically, for them not to try and pass to get back onto the podium, almost getting out of the way by spinning, which is unfortunate for Marcelo. And it's a 5-second for, so he's not only is he spun, but he's now got 5 seconds for turn 1. So that's that one dealt with, which is unfortunate for Marcelo. We'll probably try and have a look at some point. What has actually happened is Aiden is now trying to get past as he's side by side up into P16 and does so. Not completely done yet, and now it's done, you'd have to say. Here he is, the top 5. Last lap goes to the leader at the moment. So Stefano, then it's Dario, then it's Damien and Anton and Brandon, which is at the back of the pack. He's got 2 teams worth in front of him here. I think the 2 leaders are the same team, and then second and third and fourth are teammates. So Brandon, lone wolf here, got a lot to do to try and get this win. I'm going to make a move into the hairpin, but Damien really close to possibly thinking about one. On the exit, here we go, on the exit of the corner. That's not going to work for the chicane though, is it? They're going to go side by side through the chicane. Oh, it's going to be Damien's apex, the second one. Side by side they go, they touch doors, but Damien's through. Does he open the door for his teammate? I think he does. Does Brandon get through as well? Brandon's on the right, there we go, they're both through, and Dario loses 3 positions in the space of a corner. And that is some good racing, I have to say, by Dario not to get a bit aggressive at all, and he allowed, he knew the situation he was in, and very well played by all 4 cars there. Well done to them all.
Damien was not going to give up. He wanted to stay ahead of him. Dario actually, tried to be ahead of him, expecting Damien to stop or slow down, but with that, he went too much on the outside and lost 3 places like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you either give up the place and only lose 1, or try having the bigger balls and stay ahead of it.
And well, there's a drift there from Marcelo in the background, and up the inside is somebody. I think that's Paulo trying to pass Robert or stay ahead, but there's 4 cars here, absolutely nose to tail, and this is for P10. So it's just action everywhere in the reverse grid race as always, and we love it. And that's who's involved there. Then we've got Stephen involved, Robert, Paulo, and Lemur as well, I think, is the 4th car, which unfortunately he got P4 in race number 1, but he had a bad start, which is realistic to put him in the pack, and it's not the easiest pack to get through, is it, really?
Oh, I'm sure it isn't. Everyone's really, really competitive here.
Had to move from Robert up the inside through the fast corner, side by side they stay. They touch, they lean on each other, it's lovely, they're still side by side into the hairpin. The Mill has a think about it, doesn't do it. Robert on the banked corner tries to go around the outside. Peter Greenwood ends up in the pit lane, so it's changed a bit of the timing. That's some good racing, and Robert doesn't even get the move done. Good clean racing, that's lovely door-to-door TCR. Oh, he's gone deep after all of that. Paulo's gone deep in the hip chicane, and he's going to allow 3 cars through in the matter of seconds, and that's unfortunate because after a good defensive run there through the last 2 corners, that is a shame to allow the 3 cars through like that.
His confidence level exceeded his grip level.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's just pulled off a weldy defensive move. Just misjudged his brake slightly into the chicane, and yeah, that's it. 3 cars through and lost a couple of seconds as well in the process, and that's halfway through the race. It's not even what he's going to want to do. He's now going to want to try and get back past the 3 of them, so he's got a bit to chase down. But yeah, absolutely cars everywhere in the forefront, and Brandon's pushing Anton through the last corner here. Here we go. He's going to have a little bit of run. Anton will defend the inside of turn number 1. Fast lap goes to Brandon, so an extra point there. But he's not on the podium yet. A little bit of a run. I don't think he'll be able to get him here, but no one's really reeled in the leader at the moment. Brandon's probably going to have to stay where he is for now. But yeah, Stefano still leading this race. A little bit to go as well. He's got a bit of a gap. He can see him, Damien, in P2.
It has been reduced.
Has it?
Previous lap it was 2.2 seconds or so. Now it's 1.6 seconds.
So they're bringing him in, but how much? Look at that, Anton defending from Brandon, doing a stellar job, and really stopping Brandon from making any inroads here. He's almost letting him, holding him up while Brandon has a look. I'd be surprised if he gets him into that chicane. He's gone for it. No, he backs out of it and decides that's not going to work, and it's a smart move not to. But yeah, almost slowing them up has allowed his teammate Damien to get away and get after the leader. That's what's happening here.
They could have been working together.
Look at him again, defending very heavily, defending well too. In the background as well, Marcelo trying to get past Andrea. Same thing now, actually, in the background. Marcelo round the outside. No, it's not worked for him there, but again, the racing in the background. There's Robert racing as well, side by side. I think he's actually just lost a place as well. Yes, eventually he has, and I think someone went off the road there. I think Stefan has gone off the road, which allowed Paulo back through after his mistake in the other laps. But yeah, close racing throughout, and Brandon nearly pushing Anton along as Damien tries to chase down the leader. Of course, Damien won race 1 of round 1. Brandon won race 2 of round 1. And Damien today has... Well, now it looks like they're going to reverse it. Brandon's won race 1. And now Damien's chasing down the leader here to try and win race 2. So, yeah, it's...
But remember, in race 2, there was that penalty. And also because he went off track, Damien, which he lost a lot of places. He went to like P11 or P14.
Yeah, so it's...
After the incident with Brandon.
Yeah, after the incident, they haven't actually raced. They haven't really been near each other other than the start so far this race. So they haven't had to go near each other just yet. They've had in anything. Anton's been the one racing Brandon instead here. So Anton doing a good job for his teammate here, allowing Damien to try and drive away. But yeah, Damien at the moment, there, of course, no one's really thinking about the championship at the moment. And Brandon will tell you he's definitely not, as we're only at round 2. But points wise, it will be helpful for him, as that was very close to the tire wall for Brandon there. He's clearly pushing very hard. Of course, another lap gone by where Stefano is still leading, and look at the defence here, all the way down the straight.
The gap has been reduced significantly now.
Oh, it's Brandon got him! He's got round the outside of him, he's got him! Brandon round the outside, he's managed to get the inside for the next corner, and through goes Brandon into P3. It's a good move. Marcelo's also just got up to P6. We're going to probably go and have a look at the Marcelo one, then the Brandon one, because I think that was well worth watching it. I want to see how Marcelo has eventually made the move on Anton and Andre, and it's deep from Andre, and a nice switch back from Marcelo allows him through. Probably get the run. Will he get him into the braking zone? Probably.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Yeah, nice done by Marcelo. And now we will have a look at the Brandon one, which is stellar. Defend all you want the inside line, Anton, because Brandon will just go round the outside instead. And that is lovely by both of them too, for Anton not to turn in once he realises Brandon's there. Brilliant race by everybody involved. Marcelo, good move as well. Unfortunately for Andre, going a bit deep, losing a place. But still the leader is Stefano at the moment. We've got 3 minutes to go, so probably another lap and maybe 2. Andre, sorry, on the top of my head. Aiden, still in P16, not made headway he probably would have wanted in this race, still just behind George. Brad in P14 as well. Of course, we lost a few from this race, not too many, but we have lost Jake, Peter and Costa as well, and I think there was an issue for Kevin as he is also now in the pits. But the race to the lead a bit more closer now. We've got 2 minutes to go, and it's less than half a second.
Yeah, Damien can still catch Stefano on this race. But unfortunately, I don't think Brandon can catch these two drivers. So this is probably not his win.
Oh, it's a bit wide. There's a lot of grass. Yeah, probably not his win.
He's getting desperate.
Yeah, he's getting. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Definitely getting desperate. Yeah, not going to be Brandon's win. Brandon was probably happy with a podium, but now it's between Stefano and Damien. Is my you see, just I can just hear it heating up. It's just all right. We'll be able to survive the next 2 minutes, hopefully. Will they? Damien has a look. That's not really a look. He's not going to make a move there. Is it 2 laps to go? Is it on the last? Oh, he's on the grass again on the exit of the last turn. Let's see. Is there a flag? It's the last. Here we go. This is it. If Damien's going to make a move this lap, it's 2 attempts as they cross the line. Who will win?
Probably the hairpin is the best spot since he has a long slipstream to get it. He's just going to get as close as possible here, and then on the exit, just capitalize on the hairpin. Unless, Damien does a mistake, but it should be here.
Oh, my light's flickering in my room. I'm losing some sort of power. Let's hope let's hope it remains the last minute of this race or whatever's left. It's really spooking me out, but not into the hairpin, not close enough. Stefano's almost, he's gained a bit actually here through the first sector of this lap.
Stefano actually put off Damien. He can actually do this when if he just doesn't do any mistakes. He's doing really well.
There has been a crash further down the grid between P13 and P14, which is unfortunate on the last lap of the race. We'll go have a look at that at some point, but that's unfortunate for them as we are on the last one, and this is the battle for the win. It's extremely close. It's still 2 attempts, not many corners to go, but we would have to say one more chance to pass. Where does Stefano put his car? Oh, Damien's sort of there. Damien's there. He is there. They touch Damien. They touch. They're both round. No, Stefano's all the way round. And there goes the win for Stefano. Quickly puts the gas down and tries to get back on the road. The win is gone, and immediately that's another crash is under investigation. Not that one, but that means that Damien will at least cross the line in first. So the stewards will look at it, have fun. Damien wins. Brandon takes P2. Anton takes P3. Dario just beats Marcelo. He does by not very much. And we'll see what happens in the end for Stefano as he crosses the line in P7.
It looked like a really late defense from Stefano.
It looked like I agree with you. A little bit of a late one, yeah. As they all come to the end.
It was being desperate a bit there. But yeah, if he only kept the space between the car behind, just as he did on the first and second sectors, he could have gained the win. But he did the second chicane a bit wrong and the exit of it, and that made Damien get super close to him. And of course, Damien, if he sees a gap, he's still gonna try it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a little look then to see what the crash was further down the field. Oh, it's already happened by this point. Let's have a little look again. Let's see. Oh, that's wide. So, he's gone off on his own here. Oh, is he going to take someone out? Is he going to hit the wall? He's going to miss the wall and possibly take someone out. Oh, he's hit the wall and both. Oh, that's massive. And their teammates too. Oh, that's unfortunate for both of them on the last lap of the race. Oh, that is not how you want it to end. Gets back going immediately. Does he just come straight on in front of someone? Let's hope not. Oh, he stopped in the mid, then he keeps going, and yet then Steven can't miss him. And that's broken Steven's car, and that's a horrible way to end the race. Masudo, that's not it.
It's a highly dubious move right there. People need to still remember that the rest of the people are racing. You just can't cross-it like that.
Is there anything else? Was it Marco that got hit? Oh, it was Marco. So not only did Marco have a crash in turn 1 that wasn't his fault and knocked out the race, after all of that on the final lap of the race, he gets hit again, this time by his teammate, and destroys his rear right suspension. He kept trying to go to get to the end. I'm not sure he does. He gets round. He may get round, but yeah, it's absolutely destroyed by this point. So it's a bit late. But now, let's have a look. Yeah, no, he didn't get round. Let's have a look at it. Here is the final lap crash.
Start from a bit of the back because we need to see how he exits it.
Yeah, well, you can go further back if you want.
It's more important to see because it looked like a really late defense from Stefano. Oh, from here, yes. So he already here he got super slow on the exit. That made Damien really get close to him. Then he starts to go on the right. Yes, he goes to the right. Defense.
Oh,
but he was already on the right side, and it was a bit. Yeah, the space between those two, it was hard to tell if Stefano could just cut in like that, or if he should give more space, or the other driver should give more space. It's up to the steward to see that one for sure.
Yeah, that's nice by you to jump out of that completely. To be fair, if we try something I would possibly like to see is, I'd like to see maybe the onboard.
It looked like Damien actually kept it on the correct lines. It's just Stefan that got a bit too close. You see?
Yeah, I think you might be right. Here we go then. All right, actually, just go further back a little bit.
But it is a hard corner to overtake like that, you know.
So
it was an attempt.
Going up the hill, goes to the right. I think they may touch a little bit there, but it's fine. He's there. Oh, there's a bit of a moment in the braking zone, but there's a little moment where he has to turn into the slide. Look there because of the not there. It's where is it? But I think he'd get away there. But I don't know. I think you'd have to say maybe at that point he was already on the inside, so he should be.
Yes, he was already on the inside.
Yeah, he's well along there.
He braked later, but he didn't automatically crash into him.
Yes.
He was still kept it on the inside.
Yeah, agreed with you there. That's massively unfortunate for them. That's not the right results. That's the wrong ones completely. But he was there, so have fun to the stewards for that one. Another race, another last lap crash for the lead in TCR. It continues to provide absolute chaos and action throughout. It's a good race. Unfortunate for some, I must say, along the line. few incidents here and there. But yeah, I do have to look at what the people are saying in the chat at some point. But we do you want to talk to Brandon? He won race 1, ends up P2 in race 2. We'll see if he saw anything. Maybe he can give us some insight, shall we? If we bring him down. That's it. That's the one. See, so Brandon, hello again as always. You won race 1. Did you have any sort of? Did you manage to see the incident ahead of you on the last lap on the final one there?
I definitely saw it out the windshield, but I didn't get a good look at it. And I'm looking at the replay right now. I feel really bad for the stewards.
Yes.
It's gonna be a really tough call. So I'm not sure who to put that on. Yeah, that was some really tough racing there. And oh, looks like they just made a call. It was on the 516. Okay, so that's Stefano. All right. So yeah, it looks like they made a call there. Yeah, I wouldn't have been wanting to make that decision. That would have been really tough.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what they've gone with. So Damien should keep. Actually, I can't even see it, but I'll have a little look. But I wonder if he's put it in the.
To be fair, the incident reminds me a lot of race 2 from Sebring as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he's put it in the stewards or has he put it on the actual iris. I can't physically see it, which is unfortunate. Maybe he put it in Discord at some point, but I'd assume that what he's gone with there is he's probably gone with David should probably keep his win. It was probably just on my screen that I've missed actually. Fully was on my screen.
It's on the chat, at least on the iRacing chat. I can see it. It's penalty for Stefano, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Damien does keep the win, so it means you stay P2 at least for that one. Quite close in the end, probably closer than you were expecting. It race 2, fantastic. Good move, you'd have to say on Anton. Good racing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was trying all race to get by him, and I thought, like because Damien was catching up to Stefano, and I didn't want him to be able to get the lead and have an even bigger points gap between the two of us. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw it up the outside here and see what happens. And fortunately, yeah, we're both able to make it through. It's such a narrow track, and it's really hard to make moves. But yeah, both made it work. Antoine did a really good job leaving me room, and that was a really fun race. Really good stuff.
Right. Okay.
Actually, I have news about the incident. The 5-second penalty for Stefano was not from the incident, from the collision. It was from the block before the braking zone.
Okay.
But I feel
because we
that
did see how he moved.
Yeah, he did. He did move a little bit. That one definitely will be up for discussion, I assume, from Stefano's side of things, because maybe he did. Yeah, but you could argue maybe he did move to ice. He did definitely move. There was a lot of movement around there, but yeah, that's a fun one, of course, for the stewards to have. We're back completely. That's all on them. I'm not involved in that, luckily, at all. But next week, you said about how tight this circuit is at Long Beach.
Well, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, Long Beach is going to be a really great time. It doesn't matter really what car you put on that track; it's always going to be a great time. And yeah, it's going to be some really tight stuff, especially with the reverse grid. Everybody's going to have to leave enough room for each other and hope nobody hits the walls on either side, because yeah, those walls are pretty treacherous. So yeah, it's going to be another really tight race there, and got to be really tough to pass. But the passes that will be made, I think, are got to be pretty cool to watch. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. And yeah, the season is shaping up to be a really good one for the championship, and of course the on-track action's great as always. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. A little bit of a collision in the final race at the turn one as well for Marcelo, which was unfortunate for him, and then he slid off in front of everybody. But yeah, lots of racing, of course, again from the reverse grid. It was absolutely fantastic. Brilliant from you and Anton. That was brilliant racing between the two of you. Great defending from him, but really well. Yeah, he did a very good job defending the entire straight. I think he knew exactly where to place his car, which was brilliant. But yeah, good racing on one, and another last lap crash, but another one for the stewards, which is good fun this time.
It was also a really good overtake on the second chicane. Well, I did not expect from going on the outside, but it really went well.
Thanks. I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but fortunately it worked out.
You had to go through, but you did it well.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations again, as always. We'll see you next week at Long Beach. Good luck, of course, for that one.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one, and hope you had a good holidays. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya.
Paulo, once again, another last, well, I think we can place a bet on it now. Last lap crash in the reverse grid for next week at Long Beach. Probably at the hairpin last turn crash, I reckon, this time. Because we're getting close to the final. Because a couple of weeks ago at Sebring, it was at the start of the lap. This time...
No. It's never on tight braking zones. You'll notice it's usually on fast corners.
Yeah, you're right.
It was on the straight, basically.
Yeah.
And now we also had like a kink. So I think on that race, last race is probably going to be... Where should it be? Because
halfway through the lap.
It's usually 90 degrees.
Halfway through the lap, maybe.
No, because there's mostly 90-degree corners on Long Beach.
Oh, wait, probably at the start, because the start line's a bit curved, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Either that or, before the hairpin, because it goes left, like a long
line.
left. Yeah.
yes, they're that corner, the long left. Yeah, definitely. Someone's going to clip someone there. That could be exciting. I think Long Beach would be great. Of course, it'd be great for photos. But I can't wait to see how many cars we get there for Long Beach for round number 3. It was fantastic, of course, racing again tonight, especially in the midfield as well. The midfield were great as well for the P12 to 15 battle was very solid as well in the top 10. So good racing all around. A few incidents here and there, but that's racing and that's TCR. But there was some good door-to-door racing and some good moves along the way. So very, very much for joining us for round number 2. 2 days' time on Thursdays. It's round 2 of the IMSA series. Paulo, where is it this week?
Hockenheim.
Hockenheim. Are you looking forward to it?
I barely practice it, but I think I can do it.
I think you can do it. Well, good luck to you. Of course, 3 classes there, the Hypercar, the LMP2 and the GT3, and it was absolutely great last week. I really enjoyed it at Spa, and if you haven't seen on the Instagram, the GT3 winner has posted a few reels from his on board and his view, and some of the moments there with the LMP2s going past the GT3s is quite exciting. Yeah, Paulo being one of them. Quite close and quite exciting. So, I can't wait to see that again next week. This week at Hockenheim. A bit of a shorter circuit than Spa, a bit tighter as well. A bit of slow corner as well in the stadium section. It could go interestingly for
it's great for
hypercars.
Multiclass, though.
Yes.
The stadium part is hard to overtake each other as well. But the rest of the track is fine for Multiclass. It's fine. But I think it's daytime. We still haven't got the nighttime track yet. I don't think it's really been confirmed, but we will have some fun on Thursday for sure. And then on Tuesday, next Tuesday, now it's not a 2-week break, it's a 1-week break.
Yeah, 1-week break now.
We will go to Long Beach, which I'm really looking forward since touring cars on street courses are fun.
Absolutely agreed. Right, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next week. Or, well, we might even see you Thursday, hopefully, for the IMSA series.
Bye.